about timelines is sometimes people show me a photo, etc., or ask about someone who's passed on. I will land up maybe in their 20s, in their 30s. I'll talk about who they were as a person like they're really alive. And it isn't until I get closer to the point where they pass away that I start using past tense, like they or were, that kind of thing. And then I catch myself prior to what happens next. And when they actually pass away, that's when I literally kind of like fall off a cliff, and it's not the most comfortable feeling, I have to tell you. And so when I fall off the cliff, the reason why I call it that is because there's always this inner dialogue in my head, this kind of information highway, if you want to call it that. I call it the river, and a river of knowledge. And so it's always there, and when someone passes, it becomes quiet, like dead quiet, every pun intended, I guess, but dead quiet. And it's very jarring for me. And so then I have to look beyond that. I have to push past that cliff fall. And then I often get, things about after their passing, how people dealt with it, things that were unsettled, things that need to be said. And then the next thing you know, I'm often connecting to the person who passed in the manner sometimes of how they've passed, what they want to pass on to their loved ones. Oftentimes they'll bring up other loved ones, even though I'm sitting talking to, say, their daughter or their son. They're bringing up their sister, their aunt, their extended family, sometimes their pets, that kind of thing. So again, when it comes to the timeline, I'm not always certain where I am, and I literally have to ask you, has this happened yet? So for instance, I had, again with the timeline, I had a woman sit down with me and she asked me a question about future tense. And I said, oh, okay, let me look, because that's what I do, right? And for the moment, I got caught up in the timeline, the river, and the next thing you know, I found myself saying, have you had your hysterectomy yet? And she said, oh yeah, that was last year. I said, oh, okay, now I know where I am. So that is why sometimes in the work that I do, I literally travel your timeline, forwards, backwards, that kind of thing. And I don't always know where I am. So sometimes I do have to ask you questions.